The recording is starting. Yep.
Hey, good afternoon, all. So, yes, today we will go with our demo session regarding MCP server, external MCP server, and how to integrate with AI with your agents, AI agents. So, that is one of the burning topic which industry is heading towards. So, yes, I will share my screen quickly. I have some couple of slides to show to have a walk through that how that means your MCP server will help your agents to get fueled with data, with contextual data, because today LLM can produce lots of answer, but context is a real thing. That means if you don't have contextual type of information to your LLM, then LLM will definitely get hallucinate, and the answer will not be a pertinent one. So yes, I'm sharing my screen. Please, someone confirm me by raising thumbs up or something that whether you can see my screen or not. Just give me a moment, please.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see your screen. Yeah. Good.
Okay. Okay. So today's just a minute. Let me change the pointer option. So today's session is about what I was. It has been posted that with external, because you have some external application that you need to, that data needs to get flow to your AI agent. So how it will get flow, that means how MCP will help there. So this session is all about that. So before going into the details, let me introduce myself. I am Shomodi Banerjee. So I am working at Cognizant as an automation architect, and currently I am also playing a role of AI solution engineering. So this is my grasp about myself, and additionally, I am a part of Kolkata UiPath community member. Yes, so these are the today's agenda slide. So I will go to the direct agenda. So currently, okay, before jumping into the demo, we have a demo session. So before going to demo session, I want to discuss some couple of points, which is I thought very much important to have this thing in your cognition, so that you can able to understand that why MCP has been placed, and that means how we, that means traditionally we have systems of softwares which get connected with APIs. That means you have one software, you have another software. If you have to connect between those two, and if you have to traverse data between those two, then you have API connectivity. So why this MCP has been in place, and which is right now going to that means it is replacing somewhat to APIs, especially for AI agent. So these are some top five key benefits which MCP has, which API cannot provide. So the first benefit is that unified tool interference. So as you know, for specifically for APIs. So APIs have different types of modes of authentication. It might be via bearer token, it might be via auth2, it might be a basic authentication. There are lots of modes of authentication. Not only authentication, you have lots of boilerplates as well when you are receiving in data. So that MCP standardize that. That means MCP do not have those. That means boilerplates and way of authentication. You connect with the MCP, it will expose all the tools. So similar case like schema travels with tools. So here for each and every APIs, you have some uh, language that it gets. Suppose we use XML format or JSON format for getting the data along with the boilerplates. But here in MCP, we have a standardized tools. We have a standardized language, that is JSON RPC 2.0. So by using that, it will traverse the data along with the statefulness session, because we are working on AI agent, and as AI agent is very much important for persistent level, because if you don't have any persistent, then agent will not work. So to maintain this persistence level, MCP is very much important, which REST API do not have any state. So here state means persistence, rather MCP has a persistence. So here also permission scoping. So permission scoping, which one of the most important thing, that means if you are exposed, if you are integrating with REST API with any system, then you will get all the data within that system. But here in MCP, if you want, okay, I want some of the functionalities to be exposed to the outer world, then you can only expose those functionalities to the outer world. Rest, you can mask it or you can keep it under shadow. And also context efficiency. So if there is any change in REST API, if design pattern, authentication, so it will hamper your agent. That means when, because your agent needs continuous inflow of data, that is regular data and live data. So if there is any change in REST API, then again you have to make changes in your code and then you have to deploy it. So it takes time, and also there will be no live data for that. So to avoid this type of scenarios, MCP is there. That is, it will have continuous flow of data. If anything changes in the client side, no need. Sorry, if anything changes in the server side, nothing need to be changed in the client side. So this is the overall area where why we are not using API calls, but why we are using MCP in place. And this is the way how MCP works and in UiPath. So I will have a transit work right now. So we will also correlate when we will have this demo session, because right now I will show you one use case, and also I will describe you the use case, and using that use case you can easily correlate that how the data is passing, how the communication is going on. So here just, but before going to that, I want to give a top highlight so that you can read it later on after this session, and it will help you how the data is going. So you can have a good way to read this data. So first is that this is a user. User you can think as a human, and this is a conversational chatbot. Right now in our my use case, we have made a conversational chatbot, but if you want any agent, that you can make as an agent. Okay, and then you have an MCP client. MCP client means where your agent has been hosted. That means from where you are calling that MCP. And also you have a MCP server. That means where that target application has been hosted. And along with that, you have an LLM, because LLM had to take the necessary decisions. That means which tool it needs to use. And also we have a, currently we are dealing with a use case where we that means right now in the world, so climate is one of the pertinent and most important topic in the topics in discussion. That means there are plethora of use cases where we have seen that they have used some AI projects to save the climate or to predict the upcoming temperatures and how it will work, how it will behave. So to do that, I have, that means what I, in my use case, I have implemented a similar type of use case where I have application which contains all the data related to the climate. Okay, and from there, one MCP has been created. That is an MCP, external MCP server, that is in different application. I will show you, and from there I am integrating with my agent, one conversational agent, so that my answer can be much more contextual. So this climate impact explorer, it has all the data because I am creating an MCP. That means it has been created MCP server for that. So actually there is an MCP server on back of that. This application is hosted. So first of all, this one, when you have a that means when user is sending one request, so the request is going to conversational agent. Okay, but before making any decision, so agent will go to MCP server because it needs some list of tools. I will show you the list of tools here when I will showcase a demo, and along with that, MCP server will respond those list of tools, and then it will that means with the list of tools and the query, that is the prompt which we have given, it will send it to one LLM. Currently, I am using UiPath LLM, that is GPT 5 LLM I am using. So now the LLM, because each and every tool we have a description. Based on the description, the prompt, LLM will decide, okay, which tool I will use for my use case. Here you don't have to manually tell, okay, which tool is required and which tool is that not required. So here the main thing is, if you make a change in server side, then your client side will do not have any impact. So it will be helpful for you for 24/7 data purging. And along with that, the LLM will respond that which other tools are required, and then it will send to the MCP server. Okay, I need this. That means this tool is required, and from there it will fetch the data for that necessary tools, and also then with that data and your prompt, your LM will generate the output. So this is the overall way how MCP works. Now I will go to the use case. I will show that what is the use case is all about. And yes, just give me one moment. So this is a demo time. Okay. Okay. So this is one application which is there. So it is an climate impact explorer application, and for that application, one MCP has been hosted, and that host MCP is there in one application. There is a different application that is called Smidri, and from there this MCP server is getting the data. So this is the overall application where all the data for that climate for respective country and all has been hosted in graphical formats, and lots of data are there. So it's very difficult for integration with your agent. So now I will show you that application from where I have taken that MCP server. So this is the application that is smidri.ai. So here I have some list of MCP servers, because those MCP servers are been hosted by some third party with this some other application. Similar way in some of the project which I have worked. So actually I have also integrated MCP with external applications like ServiceNow and some others, because service we cannot directly connect ServiceNow with API. It will have a huge impact on data sources. So what we have done, we have introduced one MCP to create incident, update incidents, and get update work notes, get work notes. So it's very efficient way of communicating. And if any new tool has been implemented or has been added to that MCP server, then your client will not get affected. So this is the main area is there. So this is one today's session is all about. There is a third party MCP server, so which is hosted by Smidri, and that MCP server is taking data from this climate impact explorer, this application. This is, I think, one international renowned application, Institute of Applied System Sciences. So from there, it is taking all the data, and it is fuel. I have an agent, so this is my agent system. This is my agent, and it is getting fueled with my agent. Okay. Now, how you can integrate your MCP server, your external MCP server with my our UiPath? That is the first.
Somadip, you are there? I think we have lost him due to a network. Just uh, let's wait for a minute or two to see that if he joins back. Sorry, I just spoke to him. So he said that he is joining in a minute. So we'll just wait for a couple of minutes to see. Otherwise, I'll check back with him. And all. Yeah, I think he's back. We'll just wait for him to confirm.
Back. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are Somebody.
Sorry, there's the power cut, so my internet got disrupted. Okay, I will quickly share my screen. Is my screen is visible?
Yeah, we can see it. Yep, good.
Okay. Okay. So what I was telling that we have an MCP server. MCP server is an externally hosted and is taking from external data sources. So now I am going to integrate this external server with our UiPath. First of all, get with UiPath. Then we take data sources from there and we will flow this data source to our agent. So first step is that, as I have mentioned, so we are utilizing this climate uh, impact. And so first of all, you have to log into this Midri as I have logged in already. So now if you search for climate, because our use case is for climate impacts, so you can click on this climate impacts. Okay, so this is your MCP server, which has been hosted by this one, and also these are the list of tools. And if you see for each and every tools, they have mentioned some description. So what is the description is all about? What is the input and output, and also the output format? So for each and everything, the description is very much important. Based on this description, as we have seen in this slide, that means based on the description, the list of tools LLM can judge, and it can also judge and can identify which is the particular tool for that agent to get the data from. Yes. So based on this list, now we will go and we will try to integrate. I have already added, so I can get. If I go to my toolbox, this to your toolbox, and then if I go it here, I go it integration. So this is already added in my tool. So now this is the API, or this is the API through which we will connect with our MCP server. So this one we have to copy, and if I go to orchestrator, okay, now you can go to a folder. You can create a folder accordingly. Now, if you create a folder, now for me, I have already MCP. Now you can see here MCP servers has been mentioned as an option, and here you can add a new MCP. Just a minute, it will take some time to get load. So these are the list of MCP servers which I have included, and today I will use this MCP server, climate impact MCP server. But for able to understand, I will mention how to add this MCP server. So if you click on this MCP server, so as we are, there are four options. One is UiPath MCP, coded MCP, command line MCP, and remote MCP. So UiPath we have already discussed in our Kolkata UiPath chapter. Today with remote MCP. Remote MCP means this MCP it is hosted in different area, but we are including in our UiPath. So now if I this remote URL here like this, and then and okay, first of all, when you have given this API to connect with that MCP server, there you have to go with an authentication. Currently, the authentication mode is bearer token, channel one, and I am going to connect the whole FCP server. So this and by using that, we have to get that we have to create a new bearer token. So if you go here and if you go click on this integrate, and you can create a new API key for this one. As I have already created a new API, you can create a new this and you can create a new API key. So what you have to do, you have to add this API key from here, but just give me one moment. I will directly type it as I have already created my API key and embedded my API key with prospective APIs. Yes. So this is the API I have embedded along with this URL. So you have to put this API key as well and provide the name of the MCP server. You can provide any name. You can provide any name, and you can see and automatically an IMSON has already a preview you have been created. So if you want to use these integrated MCP which has been integrated with UiPath, if you want to use outside UiPath, you can use it by using this preview URL as well. And here you have to give a description. This is very much important because based on this description, your LLM can make a judgment. You now, if you click on add, so as I have already created, what you will see that this MCP server has been integrated, and you will see the list of tools which is there, which has you can see all the list of tools. So this is the server which I have integrated. So if I click on edit, which I have shown here, edit. Yes, so these are the configuration which I have made, and along with that, I can see the list of tools it has exposed. If I click on that, and if I click the view tools, you can see all the tools has are been mentioned. So currently there are 8 tools, and along with tools, if you see all the descriptions has been flown here. So this is a description that's flown here because this description has been mentioned in this. In each and everything, every tool, this has been mentioned and it has been flown here. So using this, what you can integrate with your MCP, external MCP with UiPath. This is the first step. So just adding your MCP server, now you have to add your agent. So currently I will show that I have added this thing in my agent. Just give me. Okay, so this is the agent. I have written my prompt here. I will show you in form. I have prompt here in details. That means how it will work and all these things. And here I have also integrated my server. So if you see under tools, I have added these tools and I have integrated. And as you have seen that all the tools has been also exposed in UiPath Orchestrator. That tool exposure is also there along with the description. So this minded description is very much important when or external tools for using this MCP servers. This description is much important for LLM make a contextual and pertinent judgment. So I have total 8 right now. Yes, I have 8 tools and all tools I've included. If you want to include some of the tools, you can control it from here. If you want to include all the tools, you can control it. That is how many tools you want to use for your uses. You can control all. You can control it from. So now I have server and these are the prompts I given. Loan and basic use case. I have prepared a conversation. I think there is.
I think we lost him once again. Let me cross check. Hi, Somadip, are you there? Somadip, are you there? So I think there is some network issue today in his area, so he's facing these difficulties. Sorry for the inconvenience, but I'd request all of you to wait for just give him some 3 to 4 minutes to join. Hey, hi, Samadip, are you able to hear
Hello.
us? Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you
I am
now.
able to
Yeah,
hear.
see,
Sorry,
I can see
sorry.
your
Actually,
screen as well.
I got a okay. I got a bad power cut. I'm sorry for that. Why this me? Let me go. Kunal, can give me a minute, please? Let me change the network settings, please.
Yeah, sure.
Hello.
Someone. Yeah, yeah. Please.
One moment, please. Actually, I am getting
Yeah.
some disturbing in my native network. So one moment, please.
Someone,
Back.
is it,
Yes, I am
the
back.
network is back? Okay, okay.
Yes, my
Yeah,
network has been.
yeah.
I am sharing my screen again. I'm sorry for the disruption. Is my screen visible?
Yep, it is.
Okay. So now, if I click on debug, if I run, that means if I am so. Just a moment. This is my conversational chatbot which we have. I have made questions. These are the questions which I have prepared based on that application which I have we use using that, we are connecting to MCP. I am copying this question and here, click on here. Here you will see that what are the, as I have mentioned that first of all you will have the prompt, and with that first of all you will have all the prompt, and from MCP server it will get the list of MCP tools get called. And when the list of MCP tools has been called, when the server will give you the list of MCP tools, and in phase 2, which has been shown like with a query, the list of tools, it will go to the UiPath LLM will decide which MCP is used. So based on that, it will and also the description of tools. On that, it will return which tools need to be used. So similarly, in this case, we can see that okay, these for this use case, if you see some 4 tools has been used. First of all, MCP makeup country tool, MCP list of variables tools, that MCP tool list of scenarios and compare scenarios. So these are the 4 tools it has used, because each and every tool description, and this description along with prompt, it is going to your so by taking that description, and it is preparing and creating your own answers for this one. So in this way you can, and along with the prompt I have mentioned, okay, if you have any out of the box question, it will write that okay, I don't know the answer, this is not pertinent. So post this session, if you, that means I have mentioned all the integration in a step-by-step manner. So you can follow this integration step-by-step manner, and we will post this question. You can check each and every question. So these are coming from questions also. So this answer has not been created from LLM, has been created from that agent. You can, if I expand this, if you can see, so the question was compare the temperature of India. So if you see the input, because first of all it is looking up some, so it is taking India as an input, and it is giving some list of outputs from there. Okay, and also list of climate. So from input it is the climate variable, some groups it is calling, and also from here we are getting some output from that climate. And along with that, you can see, you can track each and everything if requires sub regarding debug, and to understand how the data has been taken. So this is the way you can integrate your external MCP server with your agent, and it is failing with what is, it is failing with your right data, that means live data application. And one thing I want to show, so we have connected now. You Smithery has a new features of logs, so you can see all the logs here. That means first in this diagram, I will again refer this diagram, because this diagram, as when you are working with XCP server and agent, which is communicating with external tools, or rather external MCP. So first of all, it will give you the list of all the tools to that MCP. So here also, if you see in the log file, it has been mentioned all the list of tools has been provided from external MCP server to our agent. So and where we have failed and has been failed, all the things has been given. So these are the tools is one of the primitives for MCP. You have other 2 primitives like prompt and resources. So in this way, you can add this primitive, that is tool, with your agent, so that agent can work seamlessly. And later, and you can deploy this agent in your production instance. So this is the use case which we have. So if you want to see that, okay, there is no LLM is not taking any external data. So if I say that where is 26 World Football World Cup is being posted. If I write this, it will generate thank you for your query. This is not covered here because we are dealing with climate, not with any any football or any other stuff, sports stuff. So that's the reason it is rejecting you to give a pertinent answer for that. So this is the way you can do your external with your agent, so that your agent can get live data. So I will go back to my slides. So this is a demo, and now we have some question time. But before question time, I want to make one thing to showcase it to you. This is the point. Okay, so this is the way the MCP, that means in the diagram, the communication, how it's, and I have utilized these resources like UiPath orchestrator, MCP server to integrate with MCPs to orchestrator. There is a UiPath documentation as a documentation from Medium where you can include how integrate UiPath MCP servers. So this is the way which we have integrated or in MCP, and you can use also in your enterprise level. So yes, if you have any question, please let me know. We can discuss it. I will stop share it right now.
Yep, please feel free to post your questions on the chat or in the Q&A section. We'll be able to answer you. Okay, if there is no other question from anyone, like, is there anything like anyone want to speak? Like, I can make them a speaker to speak and ask their questions, anything? I don't see a question, Somadev, so I think, okay, there is a question from Ashwin. Somadev, can you have a look into that?
If you have used API to get live data, what is the role of MCP? Correct. So now, what I have mentioned, that means this is an external MCP server, right? So when you are getting data, that means see, there are concept is that you have client side along with the server side. Now I have connected my API with the server client side. I have connected with MCP server, not with the application. So what is a utility is that? That's a good question. So you have an MCP server and your external application is communicating with the MCP server, right? And now that MCP server, you need to integrate with your system. So for that, I need an API. But if anything is changing on your client side, that means on the on that application from where you are extracting the data. So if there is any changes, it might be the way of communication, or it might be a new features or new data has been added. So you have to perform that maintainability, right? So here you don't need to perform this thing. And along with that, suppose if that application have 10 features or 10 functionalities, and your agent, you need to also integrate these 10 functionalities with that application, right? You have to maintain 10 integrations with all the functionalities of that application. But for MCP, you have to make only one with that MCP server, or which is acting as a server with your client. You can integrate with one MCP server. So this is one of the area where you have only one integrations with the application rather than 10 different. This is first thing. Second thing is that here the integration has been happened with MCP server, and the server. So if there is any change in server side, you no need to make a change in your client side. But if you have a REST API connection with that application, because that is also an enterprise level application, and enterprise level application, there will be some changes, there will be some patch update, there will be some maintainability for external applications, but there will be less maintenance for your MCP server. So that's the reason when you have a maintainability for that application, then your maintenance cost will get high. Okay, Ashwin. So that's the reason we have integrated with MCP server, because MCP server is not been updated quite often. So, and this is second thing where maintainability will get impact. And third thing is that as that application has lost of tools, so that tools will also seamlessly get exposed to your agent. So these are the three features why we use MCP, and where it will you know, win over, or it can shadow the utility of API. But yeah, we need to connect the MCP server with with your agent. That we need one API connectivity, but rest there is no maintenance. So that is the overall benefits and why we are using MCP server. Ashwin, can we restrict what all the area a user can access? Hmm, I am not clear with the question. So Kunal, if you can give him the speaker role. Hello, Kunal.
Just trying to add him to the speaker. Just give me a second.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ashwin, I think you should be able to speak now.
Hi, Samdeep. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, I can. Good afternoon, good
Uh,
evening, Ashwin.
actually, thank you for this wonderful presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But my question was like that: if you are telling, like, you can access the MCP server and
Mm.
in various domain of that application, like, right? So, if a user get to this access, can we restrict that this user can only access the specific areas of that application?
That means you want
Like,
to say RBAC by using MCP.
yes.
RBAC from that means what is your use case is all about? Can you please explain? Because this is still, if you use MCP, then the main feature is that what are the tools are there, it will get exposed. But admin team, which is the admin team, they can also do this RBAC system. But what is your use case is all about? Can you please?
Yeah, I was just curious about this because I never did a project on MCP,
Mhm.
but we are planning to do some agentic thing on our company. So I just want to know whether if an application's access is got by a user, how can in the security point of view, most of the users they will ask, what is the security that you are providing? Because there are some uses happening like agents are misbehaving, they're
Mm.
hallucinating. So what is the security that we can offer when connecting a MCP server with that agent?
Okay, so if you think as an enterprise level, what we have done in our organization as an enterprise level, so if you have built one MCP server, so MCP server will have an admin, okay, because each and every system or each and every tool, service now or data breaks and each and everything currently going from MCP, it will have a admin for that. And if you want to, that means it will only expose the tools and the live data from the application, and it is to your agent. And that is also via bearer token. So as you have mentioned, the security here, the security it is by using bearer token, and it might be via OAuth. OAuth doesn't go. That means OAuth doesn't is very much what I can say is not been used right now in the across the industry. But basically, bearer token is one of the way you can do a security check. First thing. Second thing is that the MCP server currently I have used an external MCP server. Okay, that is from
Okay.
external application. But in enterprise level, that MCP server will be hosted in some of the clouds. That is in Azure, which is to the enterprise level. So there, your data will be get secured because it is not going outside the outside your what to say outside your organization. And third thing is that most important in when you are calling with your REST API, some of the boilerplate, some of the outside information gets flows through API. If you have seen, if you have integrated with API, some outside informations also get flows. But here, what will happen? So the outside information will not, only the pinpoint information, and whatever tools it requires, agent will use it. So if you want to integrate with your AI agent, so you have, that means you have to expose all the tools. Otherwise, the data will get break. So the main functionality is that so that I have an system which is very much secure from security perspective, and also it will give live data feed to my area, live data feed to my agent. So to give a live data feed, that's a reason MCP exposes all the tools. And if you want to do RBAC, because you have to connect, right? That I have shown that when you are making a connection with your MCP server and you are making a connection by using bearer token. So each and every application or each and every enterprise level applications, they have a specific bearer token for that. So by using bearer token, you can do the authentication check, and it will always go from Azure. That means currently some of the applications are using cloud, so it will go to any registry. It might be Azure Cloud Registry or any other registry. You will deploy that server, and from there it will take the connection. So as you are mentioning, as you are putting it in any cloud registry, so from security perspective, it is highly secure because it is coming under your PPC.
Okay, okay.
I believe it works. If you have any question, that means you can definitely.
Yeah, it clears my answer. Right.
Yes.
Okay,
See,
Ashwin, thank you.
Ashwin, the
Oh, yeah.
main motto is that you have 24/7 data. So if you make a changes in the server side, because there are two sides, server side and client side. Client side
Right,
is where
yeah.
your agent has been hosted, and server side means the external data source. So
Mm.
there will be always flow of data to your client. That means
Yeah.
client means a agent. So that is a motto. If you see MCP, the full form is Model Context Protocol. So the
Okay.
context is a main for your agent. Otherwise, agent will get failed. And your question is via bearer token, and also in container registry, whatever registry you have. It might be Azure, it might be AWS, any other cloud, it might be Google. So container registry will work for you.
Okay. Somadev, we have two more questions, one from Kenneth and another from Akash. So we'll go in the order. So can you?
Sure, definitely. When we deploy MCP server on orchestrator, how tools is being exposed? Okay, very good. So actually, Kenneth, so when you have that means when you have integrated with the MCP server, as you have seen the connectivity, when I have given the bearer token, by using the bearer token, automatically whatever tools it has been exposed, it will get flashed into your UiPath. It's automatic, so you no need to do. You just need to refresh it, and then all the tools and what are the descriptions, all will get flashed to your UiPath orchestrator. Hope this question is answers your question, Kenneth. Okay. Now, Akash, difference between MCP server and MCP client. Okay, MCP server and MCP client. So actually, there are two things. So suppose you think one upstream application and downstream application. Upstream application means from that application where have the data source, where have all the data lakes. And downstream application means it is taking the data from the upstream application from the data, and downstream application is utilizing that. Okay. Suppose for an example, if you have an application, if you have a front end, if you have seen, that means in any other enterprise level, or and suppose take any enterprise like in UiPath, we develop all our studio in UiPath Wave, but these workflows are getting stored in any databases, right? So think database as your upstream application, and this one UiPath Studio is a upstream application. Now the point is that you're now consider your agent. Your agent is a downstream application because it is consuming some data from other data sources. So your agent is the client, and from where the data is coming, that is the server. So that is the difference between that means from where the data has been hosted, from where you are extracting the data, that is an MCP server, and where the agent has been placed, that is an MCP client. Where do we pass MCP client connection? No, MCP client, we don't need to pass MCP client connection details. We need to connection with MCP server. So wherever, suppose where today I have shown you the demo of that agent. So this agent, you consider this as an your client system. So yes, you don't need to pass any connection. It is already configured. This mode of configuration has already been done automatically. You don't need to consider about this client, but you only need to consider about MCP servers. Is MCP same as RAG? Okay, that's a very interesting question. So RAG, uh, it is similar. I will consider that RAG and MCP is similar, but there is a big difference. So when you are considering about RAG means what? You are keeping some of the documents, and from there you are chunking the documents, you are fueling the data to your agent, right? Now that is based on documentation. It do not have live data. But if I want to say you, okay, Akash, so I need one application where I need live data. That means, okay, I have service now, I have an agent, I need uh, those incidents which has been created within 2 minutes. So there you cannot use RAG because RAG's data is bit standardized, and you have to update the document each and every day, because both are that means both you can use for your AI agent. You need to use RAG, you need to use MCP, but it varies with the use case. Where you need live data, where your agent will talk with live data, there you need MCP server, because live data will always flow from data sources to agent, which RAG will fail, because RAG has some standardized and some what to say, some data which is regular basis. Like if I say you, okay, you bring a chat bot where you have the HR policy, where user will ask that HR policy we have because you have a long list of documents for HR policy. So there you can put it, because HR policy will not get changed very often, within 2 minutes or within 5 minutes. It will change maybe in 6 months and 8 months. But whereas if I say you, okay, I have a ticketing tool, CRM tool, you give me the data, past data for past 5 minutes. So there you need an MCP server, because you need to talk with live data. But drag all do not work with live data, whereas MCP works with live data. I believe it worked for you, Akash. Okay, yes, given a thumbs up. Any other questions?
I don't think we see any other questions, and I think we are already over the time. So, anyone, if has any other questions, can please reach out to Somadip or me on LinkedIn. We are always there to take your feedback, take your suggestions, your questions, and I'll make sure that you get the answer from the community. So, yeah, so feel free to join. Do join our community. And before we drop or end the session, I'd like to thank Somadip for this wonderful session.
Thank
He
you.
still has one more session on the MCP, that is with the coded MCP, and just like all of you, I'm also looking forward to that. So that's on 29th of June, same time. So hopefully, I'd like to see all the, like, whoever has attended today. I'd like to see all the familiar faces the next day as well. So, yep. Thank you, Somadip. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We'll just end the session here today.
Thank you, Kunal. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hope you have learned from the session. Thank you. Thanks for your participation. Bye bye. Take care all.